Hello everyone, this is Varinder from One Australia Group. So guys, before we begin with this video, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. So I'm the head IELTS tutor here at One Australia, and my personal score in IELTS is 8 in writing, 8 in speaking, 9 in reading and 9 in listening. So today we are recording this video to share with you one of our lectures in which I'm teaching my IELTS students. So please go ahead and watch this, and if you believe this style of teaching can help you fetch the desired scores, please enroll with us here at One Australia, and we'll be more than happy to help you out in your IELTS preparation and make it a much easier journey for you.
Before we start, I will give you the brief overview of writing task 1 in academic, what it all consists of, and then we'll start with it. Okay. So your writing task 1 in academic, there are 7 types of charts which you have, guys, right? And if let me quickly give you a glimpse of everything what I'm talking here, that I believe will be better for you. So first I will share the screen for the Google Drive. Okay, is it visible? Can all of you see the Google Drive? Yes, perfect. Okay. So inside your Google Drive, guys, if you go to writing task 1 folder, so here you will see all the type of charts with the model answers. Okay. So broadly you have 7 types of charts here, right? If I can highlight them for you, you have a bar chart, you have a complex chart, you have a line chart, a picture chart, a pie chart, right? A process chart and a table chart. Okay. Now here, one thing you have to understand is that this type complex charts, it is actually not a different type in itself. What they do in this type is they will give you a combination of any of these 4 charts: table chart, bar chart, line chart and pie chart. Okay. For example, sometimes they will combine a line chart with a pie chart, or they will combine a bar chart with a table chart, right? Picture chart, also called as a map, and process chart, also called as a flow chart, they will always come as standalone charts. They will never be combined with anything. If I can show it to you very quickly, right, under complex charts folder, for example, if I open this, so you will see here a combination of pie chart and a table, right? Okay. Or if I can open it here, right, a combination of a bar chart with a pie chart, right? So this is how you have the complex chart. Otherwise, they will give you standalone charts for bar, line, pie chart, table, process, and picture chart. Okay, so these are the broad 7 categories of charts which you have. Now, coming on to the question for the day, right? Now, in writing task 1, all of these charts, you have to write a minimum of 150 words. Nothing below 150 words is acceptable. If you're writing less than 150 words, rest assured that your bands will be 6 or 5.5. No matter how good your English is, if you're not writing 150 words, be ready to get reduced scores. Okay. First thing, the maximum word count which you go up to is 250 words. Don't stretch beyond 250 here. Okay. In fact, let me just italicize it. Actually, I think. All right. So 250 words is the max, right? Don't stretch beyond 250 words. Okay. Reason for that, guys, first is that examiners, they are paid by the number of answer sheets they analyze, not by the hour. So the person who is checking your answer sheet, he or she does not have any motivation to read a, let's say, 300 word, 400 word task 1, right? But the primary reason for this is that your writing task 1 is less important than your writing task 2, which is your essay, right? How so? Let me explain you that, right? If I can bring this up on your screen. So if you can see this, right, this table, it shows how you're scored on task 2 and task 1, right? So your task 2 brings you 2/3 of the band score. 66% of the weightage is given to task 2, and 1/3 of the weightage of bands, 33%, is given to task 1. So what does it mean? It means, let's say you wrote a good essay and you got 7 bands in your essay, but you wrote a poor task 1. So your task 1 score was only 6, but still your overall scores would be 7 bands, right? Because you performed good in your essay. Now let's take the second situation where someone is spending, let's say, 30 minutes on task 1 and he or she writes a very good task 1, right? But for task 2, they have less time and they end up getting only 6.5 in task 2. Just see the scores. Your scores will drop to 6.5. So this is something which you have to keep in mind. It tells you perfectly that what task is more important. Your essay is more important than your task 1. So first, make sure you complete your essay and then only you should jump onto your task 1. And this is especially valid for all of you who are going to sit for academic exam, because in academic exams, sometimes you have a very difficult task 1. Let me explain you that with example. if let's say I pull up this bar chart here, and let's say I bring this chart. Let's say you get this one in your examination. Now just see the number of figures you have to talk about. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into 4 is 24. 24, if you write one line for each of these figures, if you explain them in one line in about 10 to 15 words, you have to write 360 words to explain all these values. And you don't have this luxury of writing 360 words. You can only write at max 250 words in your task one. And the time you should allocate to task one should not be more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes is the max. Please understand. Okay. So what you should do is always start with your essay first. You're writing task 2. Yesterday also I discussed this thing with you and I told you the same thing. Start with your essay first, please. And in the remaining time, in the last 15 to 20 minutes, you should jump onto your task 1. Why I'm saying that? Because then you will have no other option, right? Once you have devoted, let's say 40 minutes to your essay and you have written a good essay, now you have to complete your task 1 in 20 minutes. They will not offer you extra time, right? So you have to do it within the remaining time. So it's better to force yourself to do that. Make sure you develop the habit from the class practice sessions itself and apply that thing in your examination as well. Okay. Keep this in mind. Very important, guys. Okay. Many students, they don't follow this advice and they end up spending 30 minutes on task 1. And then they come later and they're crying that I spent more time on task 1. I'm not getting good bands. I again got 6.5. This will happen if you're not heeding to this advice, right? So make sure you're not one of those students. Choose wisely, right? Common sense dictates that something which brings you more bands, you should attempt it first, right? In your school, in your college, in your university examinations as well, this happened, right? There were some questions which were of higher value. So you always attempted those questions first, right? Something which brings you 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever the highest proportion of marks, okay? If you are attempting 1 marker or 2 marker questions first, then you are dumb, right? Because you will not have sufficient time to attempt a question which is worth 30 marks. And just attempting 1 question will fetch you 30. Whereas attempting question for 1 mark or 2 mark, obviously, right? You can weigh in the pros and cons. Okay. Same thing applies in writing task as well. So be very smart about it. Okay. Next thing after that, what you should know is the structure. Okay. So there are 2 structures which you can actually follow for your writing task 1. First is this one. You write introduction, you write the overall view, you write body paragraph 1, and you write body paragraph 2, right? This is one structure. Another structure is very similar to this one. All of you, I hope, know it. The only difference here is instead of writing overall here, we write it here after body paragraph 2. Okay. Both the structures are correct. You can use any of the 2, right? This one is correct as well. This one is correct as well. In the class, generally, I tend to adopt this structure, but you can go with this one as well. Both of them are correct, right? It's up to you which one you prefer. Now, what should be the content of these 4 paragraphs? Let's understand.